Hey guys, doing the flashback draft for this week as Magic Online does the Year of Modern flashback drafts this week rather, is a Kamigawa block draft. So that's what I'm about to do. Before we get into the draft, I wanted to say you should visit paperchampion.net for other great Magic the Gathering content. Uyo Silent Prophet is pretty good. A 6 mana 4/4 flyer is already really good in this format. And you can use it to copy instant or sorcery spells, and it doesn't even have to be one you control. So pretty strong card. I do like the Moonfolk anyway, more than most people. I think. I just think they're cool. They have a cool mechanic, a cool look about them, and so forth. So, but yeah, I think I'd definitely take Uyo here over Sire of the Storm, who's also very good. Kitsune Blade Master is probably on the next tier, and Ren Spirit's also really good. But I think Uyo's definitely better. So I think that's what we take. So win condition in the sky that can make life really difficult for your opponent. I mean, even if they draw a kill spell for Uyo, if you have 2 mana up, you get to kill one of their creatures. So it's pretty it's pretty brutal in that way because you automatically 2-for-1 them. So it's instant or sorcery, right? Yes. So I mean, if you tap out for her, she is vulnerable for a turn, of course. But Earthshaker, I mean, I could go towards that. Could also just go with the Rain Shaper, who I think is sort of a safer pick, or a Tribe Elder, who has some, fixing and ramp are both good things. Open me up to more possibilities in the future. I mean, if I built like a red, blue, Earthshaker, Moonfolk deck, I would be pretty happy. I mean, that thing can level a lot of battlefields, and I could sort of build around it. I mean, I think it's either the Tribe Elder or the Earthshaker, and I think the Earthshaker, I mean, the Tribe Elder's safer, but I feel like making a sweet Earthshaker Uyo Silent Prophet deck seems like fun. These flashback drafts are about fun, right? I mean, the Rain Shaper is also worth looking at, but we're going to take an Earthshaker here. Ooh. That thing's really good, so I feel pretty good about being in red anyway. You can, kill creatures with it, ping your opponent. I mean, even when you just have the one Honden, the red one is super good. Cutthroat's pretty good. Floating Dream Zubera would also be good. And you could build a Zubera deck with Earthshaker, by the way. But yeah, we're gonna take the Honden instead. Well, now things are less exciting. It's a pretty late Ren Spirit, though. I mean, I don't have to play red, although it would be nice. Silent Chant Zubera is pretty okay. So is an Orochi Sustainer is good. Kitsune Riftwire. I don't want a Battle Mad Ronin at all. I'd have to end up in a really aggressive deck for it to be worth anything. And in a world of Earthshakers and Uyos, that's not really what we're going to be doing. So, yeah, I'll take the Ren Spirit. It's a great card, and Maiming Black is in fact open. There's a Mirror Guard who I like a reasonable amount, and it does go with my plan. My silly plan of Earthshaker plus flyers. Soul of Magma is also pretty good, especially when you also have Honden of Infinite Rage. But I think I'm going to take the Mirror Guard here. I think Soul of Magma is really the only other card worth considering. So come on down, Mirror Guard. Wow, Thief of Hope. You don't see that very often this late. That thing is pretty sweet. But there's another Sword Tommy Mirror Guard, and I think I like that. Kabuto Moth is also pretty good. There's a black and a white card, both pretty late, that are quite good. Scuttling Death's also pretty good. Should I be responsible and take Thief of Hope, which probably means black's open, or should I just take the Mirror Guard, who's perfectly fine but not amazing? I'm going to take the Mirror Guard. We have the Honden. That means no one else got one, right? Because stuff would be pretty good against us. This isn't terrible in the deck we seem to be building. I mean, could we get to the Myojin even? Probably not, unfortunately. We don't have any ramp to speak of. Stone Rain I don't really want. I could take Pinecrest Ridge. It opens me up to splashing, I guess. I wish it was the one that added black, because we do have a sweet Ren Spirit. Sift Through Sands is fine, especially if you have Earthshaker in play. But I don't love it. I think I'm going to take the land and see if it does anything for us. Yeah, River Kaijin I like. It's a good control card. And when we have Honden and plus flyers, we sort of have an inevitability plan. And it survives our Earthshaker. So, right, another Ren Spirit? Seriously? Seriously. I think I have to take it. I mean, I could totally back off of my my plan and still have a pretty good deck here. The double Ren Spirits shouldn't really happen, especially as late as we saw them. So, I mean, I could go black-blue. You know, I do. I mean, Honden is really strong, even without any silly synergies. But, search my library for a demon. Don't think I will. Yeah, this pack's not real great. I guess Distress is okay. It can at least hit any card I want, which gives it some value. There's a Waking Nightmare now, too. Could have built a land destruction deck with all the Stone Rains I've seen. Yeah, I'll take Waking Nightmare. I mean, if I could splash the Honden, I probably should. If I can find any way at all to splash that Honden, I probably should. I think all the fixing really is in this set, though, and we didn't get any. I mean, and this is still a possibility, but 2 Ren Spirits is a pretty huge signal that black's open. Yeah, you know, Distress isn't terrible. Waking Nightmare isn't exactly... What? I was just talking about how open black is. Look at this. Kitsune Riftwalker's pretty good. I'll take that. It seems like there's literally 0 white drafters at the table if we're seeing a Kitsune Riftwalker that late. And the other cards in there were all reasonably playable. Not great cards, but reasonably playable. I mean, I definitely have the makings of a control deck in which Waking Nightmare and Distress are more reasonable because I can slow my opponent's plan while I try to kill them with flyers. And I have a River Kaijin who's a good early blocker. And I would love to play the Honden, but Soul of Magma came back too, though. What? I mean, red, I don't know. I think these cards are all good enough to warrant actually being played. Scuttling Death is, certainly, so I'm pretty happy to get that, especially if we end up in black. I mean, so far we only have 1 spirit, but it seems like it's probably going to go up. Yeah, I guess black's open enough. If we're seeing a Scuttling Death that late. Unnatural Speed. How exciting. In a world where you end up with like 4 Glacial Rays, you would start playing Unnatural Speed, I think. Ooh, Kodama of the Center Tree. Yeah, that's... And Throat Slitter. I think I probably have to take that. It's too good not to. We have Flyers, so it's even better. Kills stuff with its ninjutsu ability. We can also then make it unblockable with our Mirror Mage, so I seem to be really in the mood for bad combos today based on my earlier attempt to make Earthshaker work, and that's another bad combo, so I think we go with that. This thing is actually really good, but I don't think we're green. And I think it's just like definitely Throat Slitter here. Takanuma Bleeder's not terrible, but Throat Slitter's pretty clearly better, you know, so... Especially in our deck with a bunch of flyers. Ooh. More Ninja. And that's a very good Ninja. Ninja of the Deep Hours. Kaijin of the Vanishing Touch would not be terrible in our deck. Neither would Phantom Wings, but I think we'd rather have the Ninja. Crawling Filth, I wouldn't mind getting back. But more Ninjas is usually better. Whenever you got Spirit Arcane spell, gives stuff fear. Okay. I don't love it. I'd probably just take like Skull Snatcher here. I mean, he's just a bear basically, but I mean, it does take our deck a little more aggressive route. I guess I could take Phantom Wings. It is good with both my ninjas, and it can be a removal spell, a bounce spell, really. So yeah, I guess I will go with Phantom Wings. Well, there's a Crawling Filth. Do I take that one? Or do I take a Quillmane Baku, or do I take a Phantom Wings? Crawling Filth. We have 2 ninjas, 3. Well, no, yeah, just 2. So, and if we have a few spirits, Do we literally only have one spirit right after I said that? Yeah, we do. No, we have two. I think we probably end up with more. This is Kamigawa after all. Yeah, I'm sorry. The red looked so good early. We took Earthshaker and then Honden and then nothing. But that being said, I like the look of our deck. So just blue-black control, the pretty big bomb if she lives. Flyers and ninjas. We have two of the best ninjas actually in Ninja of the Deep Hours and Throat Slitter. Mistblade Shinobi. If we could snag one of those, I'd be pretty happy. We do need some bears pretty bad. Like even in a control deck, or at least I need like more blockers like River Kaijin. I need something to protect me early. So we'll see. See what happens there. Yeah, the Mirror Mages plus ninjas is pretty good. Or Mirror Mages plus anything equals good ninjutsu. Well, not plus anything, but plus anything with low enough power. I could take a Skull Snatcher now. Quillmane Baku's okay, but don't love it. I think I'll just take a Skull Snatcher. I mean, sometimes ninjutsuing it in too, when you can only pay 1 black and get a 2-mana dude out there, and you get another Spirit trigger, which granted at this point we don't have much of that, is fine. And you know, if we get a Shuriken now, I might actually think about taking it. We do have 3 ninjas after all. Probably need more than 3 to make Shuriken make sense. But, you know, especially because almost all of our creatures would die to Shuriken when it came back. Because the opponent gains control of Shuriken unless a ninja used it. So, not exactly ideal. I mean, more low drops also makes our ninjas better because we can play them. Oh, yeah. These things are good. This thing's pretty cool, but, you know, it's definitely fun, but it's not. I don't think it's good. I think we take the Glass Kite here. Basically, my opponent has to fire off 2 removal spells to kill it, which had Kira, you know, who's like the lord of these, who gives everything that effect, but I'll take a Shimmering Glass Kite. I mean, we definitely, you know, I mean, Earthshaker still seems viable. And we can get this back with both of our Soul Shift guys, so that's good. God, what does Earthshaker even... I guess it kills almost everything we've taken, actually. Our ninjas all die to it, and Crawling Filth dies, so we probably don't want it anymore. Which makes me sad. Very sad. But, you know, it's probably okay. Because our deck's actually pretty good. Even if I don't get to live the dream of a Soul of Magma, I mean, a Earthshaker deck. Well, the good times are over. I mean, Indebted Samurai is pretty good. I mean, it's usually just going to be like a 4-mana 2/3, like especially in our deck, and I think that's fine. I could take Ribbons of the Reikai. Like if we get there on Spirits, it's a reasonable card. This thing still being here is kind of crazy. It like ramps you, and it's a reasonable size. So Moonlit Strider also quite good, but I think we take the card that's on color and try. You know, if we play it, we play it, and if we don't, we don't. I mean, you basically need 3 spirits in play for it to be a good card, and at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4 total. So it's probably not going to happen. We can double it, but doubling our Rend Spirits seems pretty tasty. I mean, Psychic Spear. I guess Stir the Grave. It's not terrible. I mean, if we get another bomb, I would probably even play it. Like, getting Uyo back is nice, but getting back... Like, if we have... Too bad we don't have a dragon from Kamigawa. Ire of Kaminari is a pretty fun card. I have a modern deck that's basically a Kamigawa block deck, as you would expect, with that in it. I'll take Stir the Grave. Sure. Okay, now I'll take Quillmane. That's fine. It's not amazing, but... Probably not going to play Stir the Grave, but you never know. Okay, another Phantom Wings is okay with me. putting that on ninjas, using it to bounce stuff, all seem good to me. Turning my Ninja of the Deep Hours, is that what it is? Yes, into a Thieving Magpie seems pretty good. I even think that ninja might be worth something because it's in like a bunch of pauper decks, although I think since Cloud of Fairy got banned, it's not nearly as good. Cloud of Fairies. Let's see. I mean, as far as commons go, I think it's worth something. Ninja of the Deep. Oh, no, it is. It's worth, for a common, it's worth a lot. It's worth $1.60. So, that ninja usually is pretty bad, but we have two ninjas with really good abilities. Looking at my opponent's hand isn't terrible. I mean, I might play it. Seems unlikely, but I might. This card is such a stupid card. Like, you could pay 5 to do nothing, or 5 to draw 6. I mean, if I had Sensei's Divining Top, like 4 of them, then maybe I'd play that. But this is probably the best card that's left. Yeah, okay. Well, I think Phantom Wings is better than people are giving it credit for because it can bounce things. I mean, it can't be an instant is the downside. But if you had a card that was sorcery speed, 2 mana, bounce target creature, you would probably, I'm probably not going to play 3. You'd probably play some number of them, and that's kind of what it is. So Kagamaro's Clutch is pretty good. Yeah, don't think I want that. Don't have Enter the Battlefield abilities to abuse or anything like that. It can block forever, I guess, but you have to have 5 mana up, plus black creatures. Well, with ninjas, I guess it can be pretty good, but yeah. Kagamaro's Clutch is probably what I take. I mean, it is not always like an immediate answer for something. I like Moonbow Illusionist too, because you can like screw your opponent off of if they only have 1 land of 1 color. This thing's also quite good. Oh no, it's 7 or more, not if you have more cards in your hand than your opponent. So never mind, it's not that good. So it's either the Clutch or the Illusionist. We have 2 really good removal spells in Ren Spirit. Plus Throat Slitter. Yeah, I'm going to take the Illusionist. I think the more evasion we have, the more gross we can get with our ninjas. I don't really like any of these, especially not this one. The sweep cycle has to be one of the biggest failed cycles they've ever made. Hail of Arrows is really good, though. But we're not white, and I don't think we want to try to splash it. Do we want Death Knell Kami? Soul Shift 1 doesn't do us any good, but flying... Elder Pine of Jukai is really good if you end up playing green, and Promise Kanushi is as well. I like Descendant of Soromaru. Okay. It's not bad in a control deck. It's an okay blocker that can help you draw what you want to draw. So I think it's probably what I take over the Death Knell Kami. I mean, we don't have many 2-drops at this point, though, but I don't think that's really the one we want. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, we'll take it. It's a 4-mana 3/3 flyer who occasionally will get stuff out of my opponent's hand. Pretty okay with that. Shinnin of Flight's Wings is good too. But I do think Infernal Kirin's better. It's got a lot of upside. Ebony Owl Netsuke was like a... Believe it or not, if you didn't play back in the day, Ebony Owl Netsuke, which looks like garbage, was like a really good deck in Standard back in the day. And when Kamigawa block was in Standard. Deck ran like Howling Minds and bounce effects and just like destroyed people by making them draw a bunch of cards and not be able to play any of them. So it was a pretty sweet deck. But yeah, we're going to take the Kirin here. Twin Cast. Well, we could copy our Twin Cast. Then what's up? Freed from the Real is actually decent. I mean, you do have to pay 1 every turn, but you can tap stuff down with it. I think that's probably what the pick is here. I mean, Twin Cast, we just don't have enough ways to abuse it. I mean, I guess a double Waking Nightmare is okay, but I think I just take Freed from the Real here over like Death Mask Nezumi, who's okay, a 3-mana 2/2, who if I keep a bunch of cards in my hand, which is possible by the way with Moonfolk. I didn't think about that synergy. But I think Freed from the Real is just better because it can be a removal spell. Ghostlit Stalker. This cycle is mostly good, but this one is kind of meh. I think I really need some 2-drops or I'm going to be getting wrecked early. And Breeze Caller isn't the most exciting 2-drop, but oh, there's also an Overwhelming Intellect. Okay, well, I'm taking that. So, sorry. I mean, my deck's going to be a little slow in the early game, but this thing is ridiculous. Like, if you can cast that, no matter what you counter, like, you feel pretty good. Counter target spell, draw 3 cards. Counter target spell, draw 7 cards. It can be either of those things. Murmurs from Beyond isn't terrible, especially in a control deck. Kami of Empty Graves, what can you soul shift for, my friend? River Kaijin, and that is it. So I don't think I want you. Another Ebony Owl Netsuke. I think I'll take Murmurs. I mean, I might not play it, but it's it's fine. Yeah, I'll take that too. We're gonna have some trimming to do. We definitely ended up in like a pretty good deck, despite things not going the way I wanted them to. I don't think we want that. Probably don't want this many Phantom Wings. Probably don't want Waking Nightmare. Probably don't want Distress. But other than that, I mean, if I didn't have so many ninjas, Phantom Wings wouldn't be nearly as good, especially because many of my creatures have flying. But it can also bounce stuff, as I've stressed numerous times. But I'm just saying it again. So I think 2's probably okay. 3's probably too many. I mean, we do have we have ways, if we put those distresses back in and stuff, we have lots of ways to make our opponent discard cards. Ooh. Really? Do I want Maishin, the Mind Cage? Oh, it's all creatures. Never mind. I was thinking it was only opponent's creatures. I mean, if we had a Honden deck, that would be sweet, but we don't, so. Death Knell Kami, nah. You're okay with my ninjas, but I only have 2 who I really want a ninjutsu. You're pretty mediocre. I mean, I think it's another one of these, but I don't think I play it. I think I'd rather play like Waking Nightmare before a second one of those. Maybe I'm wrong. Can reduce my opponent's hand size. I mean, we definitely could have built a Crane deck, but we saw both of them. Although this one only helps you if you have 7 or more cards in your hand. I'm gonna take this from someone. You don't need people having 2-drops, given the state of our deck. Yeah, I mean, maybe I want to side that in. I can use my Phantom Wings to make it an even worse bounce spell. One I had paid 3 for. Okay, I think I will take this guy now. I like it more than this, who's pretty bad, except for when you're like using it to do ninjutsu stuff. But you know, we could occasionally make this into a 4/2 and just win the game that way. Ooh, I think I want Freed from the Real. I think this might just be our deck. I think 17's probably okay. Well, Twin Cast made it back. And Moonwing Moth. We don't want Death of 1,000 Stings. It's a stupid card. Twin Cast. I mean, we can side that in against an opponent who has like a bomb spell, so we have 2 Uyo effects. So. And it's a cool card in general. I'm not sure I already had one. Not bad for Commander and stuff like that. When you like twin cast their counter spell that targeted your bomb, that's always fun. But then they counter your twin cast. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, I like the looks of this. I mean, lots of flyers. The one thing we really are lacking is an abundance of 2-drops, which maybe means it's worth it to put Distress in. I mean, maybe I just put the Breeze Caller in now. You can also just put in Dreamcatcher, helps us draw cards it can block early. The Breeze Caller can actually do some damage. Its effect is stupid, though, but I'll take it. Maybe we play it. Yeah, okay. For old time's sake of Kamigawa Standard. I don't think I play it. I mean, we do have kind of a deck that's slow in the first couple turns, but... And 1-drops, like I said earlier, would be good in our deck because if we can like play a turn 2 Ninja of the Deep Hours, like, that's pretty great. But there's no, if we only have 1 or 2 2-drops, we're not really, or 1 drops, that's not really increasing our chances. I mean, the only spells we ended up with that we can copy are our Rend Spirits, which is good. But it would have been, well, I guess in some weird situations, well, maybe I do play 1 Dreamcatcher, since 1 made it to me. It is a 1-drop, and I can cash it in to draw a card in the later part of the game. So it has synergy with like my ninjas and with the few spirits that I have. I don't think we're playing Ribbons of the Reikai, incidentally. Anything else in here I don't really want to be playing? I mean, I think I'd probably rather have another Descendant than Quillmane Baku. It's just, of the Baku cycle, like, the white one's really good because it can do a lot with just 1. Just by removing... You can tap a bunch of creatures depending on how many counters. This can only deal with 1 thing, and the bigger something is, the harder time it has. I don't think we want Walker of Secret Ways. I mean, we could want Murmurs from Beyond. Or just a Boro Breeze Caller to have a 2-drop who's good with our ninjas. Yeah, I'd probably just do that. Makes our curve look a little better too, and Quillmane's not the most exciting thing. Yeah, I think I like the looks of this thing. We did not get a Mistblade Shinobi, which is sad. So we need double black for our Infernal Kirin. And we need double blue for 2 of the most powerful cards in our deck. So I think 11-6 is a little extreme. I mean, especially because there's 6-drops. I think I'd go more like 9-8. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so our plan, basically, is to stall in the early game with the help of Phantom Wings, Rend Spirits. What do you do? Do you bounce stuff? No, you've changed land types. I don't have the bounce one, sadly. Ninjutsu stuff in for value. Kill my opponent with flyers. I mean, I feel like on turn 6, I'll at least have like a Dreamcatcher in my graveyard, in which case Crawling Filth is at least getting something back. But it'd be better to get back Scuttling Death or Infernal Kirin, obviously. But I mean, I guess it's worth thinking about taking it out when I look at the fact that spirits-wise, I mean, the ones I do have are pretty strong. Except for like River Kaijin and Dreamcatcher. So that's probably enough. Yeah, it's worth it. All right, well, I think this is our deck. I feel pretty good about it, even though I didn't get to I was going to try to force an Earthshaker deck, but, didn't quite come together. But we built a good control deck with good removal, 1 counter spell that's ridiculous, and a bunch of evasive creatures, which is also a fun deck for me. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.